look so lonesome, sitting down behind the tree. Well, don't the house look so lonesome when your baby back up to me?
No, look, I don't know about this stuff. I mean, I didn't even know I had a brother. I can't keep track of this stuff. I mean, he's Jim Biden, I'm Joe Biden. He's younger, but I'm better looking. It's not a joke. Not a joke. And then there's Frank Biden. Nobody talks about him. I mean, he's another brother. Then there's Barack Obama, my brother from another mother. That is a joke. You know what the joke is? He never liked me.
It means a great deal to our family.
What?
Rabbi Michael Beals of the Congregation Beth Shalom in Wilmington, Delaware. That's where I received my education.
What?
I probably went to shul more than many of you did.
Really?
You all think I'm kidding. We have a very, in relative terms, large Puerto Rican population in Delaware. I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home.
What?
I got my education for real.
For real.
That's not hyperbole, it's a fact.
What about your kid business dealings in China? Compromise.
Sir, Mr. President, there has been criticism.
Give me a break, man.
Mr. President, there has been criticism.
We're bought and paid for.
Reaction that was done because of political pressure.
You come right off and ask the question. We have more.
Yeah, you're a friendly reporter. What?
Look, in Warsaw, or should be Washoe County in Nevada, we're not looking for a new Cold War, but I make no apologies.
What?
I make no apologies, but also enable us to recover substantial components for further analysis, for further analytics.
What?
As it takes.
As long as it takes.
We will stand with Ukraine for as long
As it takes.
For as long as it takes.
TV General.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border.
I would tell them that a new day is coming.
We got plenty of room for more residents.
Why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
Right, you goat.
When you see the clapper.
Yes, sir. Whoa. Whoa. Put on the brakes. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, 50s, 50s, bung-eyed heifers, right and left-wing wackos, woodchucks, and checkettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, to another version of It's News to Us. And, yeah, sure. Who are we? Where are we? You're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news, which is new. Here, Neil Brown Q. And defund the police? No, I don't think so. It just ain't working out.
Just ask Burlington.
Oh, yeah. All these blue cities and the blue states, no. Good luck with that. And, we cater to everyone here, men, women, and you're all welcome. Just make sure you wash your damn hands. Yeah, when you see these pukes, the black bloc, okay, and they're everywhere, okay? They're in every demonstration, all during the summer of 2020. But you know what? They were not at the Capitol on January 6th. And there were no undercover FBI assets or CIA or any of the other three-letter alphabets. Nope, there was nobody there. But hey, guess what? Kevin McCarthy has released the 14,000 hours of video to Tucker Carlson. And here's what NATO stands for. Actually, it's the Nazi American Treason Organization. Occult means hidden, basically. Here's some good places. Judicial Watch. These guys are great. Okay, they pry. They have to pry records that we pay for, stuff that we paid for, our government. They have to pry them through lawsuits. And here's a bunch of other real news sites too. Okay, for those of you watching on BlueTube or whatever, you can hit pause and check them out. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them here, especially warroom.org. At 5 o'clock, at 10 a.m. to noon, and 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. They're great. And here's some other ones too. And Here's some other ones too on the back here. Oops. Woo, we're going high def. Stop the WHO. And the WHO, they're going for stuff right now. Thanks, Philo. In the booth we have Philo T. Farnsworth. You can see his drum videos at Terry DeFazio on YouTube. But the WHO, man, they are, and Biden's letting them get away with this stuff. They canceled phase 2, Philo, of their investigation into the COVID stuff.
I wonder why that was.
Yeah, they just canceled phase 2. They cited ongoing problems with China and non-cooperation. Never mind that China funds the WHO, like you read about, that they're bought and paid, like the United Nations. They're bought and paid for by China. It's crazy. And where else? There's a 1,700% increase in reports to the vaccine adverse events reporting system. And mind you, they canceled during the 70s, they canceled swine flu after 52 adverse events. Excuse me, I was watching a rerun of Barney Miller the other night, and they had this nurse come in, and they were giving everybody swine flu shots, and Wojciechowicz passed out.
Yeah, needles always made him pass out.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the thing. Oh, you got to take it. It's like nobody's saying, hey, wait a minute, why do we have to take it? What the hell? We're not pigs. Why do we have to take a swine flu? But anyways, what's some other news here? Oh, that FBI agent that they busted, McGonigal, it seems he was sent to the New York City FBI office to stifle the investigation into Hunter Biden's laptop and do counterintelligence on the honest FBI agents, Philo.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah. And he was sent there by Weiner and Comey and the other deep staters. And, we got some good news here, too. Well, good stories. It's not good news. In the Epoch Times, and I get this is weekly, but you can get it on the net, too. You don't have to pay a nickel for it. Just go to epochtimes.com. Thanks, Philo. And what do we got here this week? Okay. 20 states have approved legislation or issued rules barring school systems from mandated the stupid vaccines, even as the CDC is adding it to its routine schedule for children. Oh, and a transgender center at St. Louis Children's Hospital has been urged by the state's top cop not to start new patients on puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones while a whistleblower's claims are investigated. Get this, these people are sick. And they're shutting down this transgender kitty crap in Europe, Philo. They just shut down the Tavistock Center in England because they found out that they were doing it without parental notification, mutilating kids by sterilizing them and ruining their sex lives and their reproductive capacity forever and ever. It's crazy.
Well, if you're going to become the opposite sex and go through all that and all the hormone therapy and the surgery, you're not going to be able to function normally.
No, and you're going to be, if the surgery even does come out okay, you're going to be hooked on prescriptions for the rest of your life.
Isn't that a great fate to have? Why don't you just admit you're gay and get on with it?
Yeah,
right?
It's just nuts. I mean, and a lot of people, you start giving them testosterone, especially to females. You start giving them testosterone, sure, they're going to grow a beard, but they'll also lose their hair too. A lot of them, yeah. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, male pattern baldness starts on very quickly with that stuff.
Yeah, the top cop, the Washington University Training Center at the St. Louis Children's Hospital, had told him to knock it off. Ex-worker Jamie Reeds 3,500-word expose in the Free Press. She worked there for 4 years, and she said closing the clinic is the only way to keep kids from being harmed there. Let's see, blah, yada, yada. She's the first person to reveal the inner workings of the pediatric cranny clinic. Such centers used to be rare. Now there are more than 100 across the U.S.
No kidding.
Why is that? It couldn't be because every kid's got a phone and they're watching TikTok and these videos are glorified, right? It's crazy. And her revelations have made me wondering how many other clinics are doing the same thing. She said they continue prescribing training medications even after the parents revoked consent and after adverse effects. She described other practices that were disturbing, inappropriate, and harmful. She left officials alarmed by the practices and behaviors she witnessed. And let's see, yada, yada. The investigation is focusing on hundreds of children have been harmed. 2 other agencies are investigating whether med personnel should face discipline, and procedures were inappropriately billed to government programs like Medicaid.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, lovely. Let's see.
But if you need a hip replacement, oh, no. You've got to wait. That's elective surgery, honey.
Her report builds on revelations that the center counseled authorities to conceal information from parents regarding their cross-gender identification. On a January 7th news story, the centers were encouraging to keep parents in the dark and binding girls' breasts so they'd appear more masculine. Encouraging teachers to lie to the parents is unconscionable, yada, yada. And answer questions about the number of minors treated at the center, the types of treatment, complication rates, and other information. Okay, yeah. It seems like maybe they're going to snap out of it, hopefully, before they ruin the lives of any more kids. You want to do that stuff when you're 21 or over, whatever, 18 even, I don't know. Hey, knock yourself out. Just remember one thing, okay? I found this out a long time ago. There is never such a thing as routine surgery, okay? You look at the stuff they make you sign before they knock your butt out and do any surgery on you. And I'm telling you, there's a million things that can go wrong and often do. I got a friend of mine who went in for a routine surgery on her eyelids, right, Philo?
Yep.
Down at Mass Eye and Ear. No problem. One of the best hospitals on the planet, right? One of the best surgeons on the planet. Okay, no problem. Well, guess what? Something went wrong. Now she can't even close her eyes when she sleeps, Philo.
Sort of like what happened to Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
She couldn't even tell if she was smiling anymore.
It's crazy, man.
And she had another cosmetic surgery that killed her.
There is never any such thing as routine surgery. So when when you're thinking about having a doctor cut your cock off, come after you, or the other doctor, addictomy, you could be in big trouble. Oh, and get this. Dementia Joe is plans to withdraw another 26 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve this year, so he can sell it to God knows who or what. It's crazy. You want to stop this stupid war with Putin? Start drilling American oil. We'll drop the price of oil back down to $30 a barrel. Gas prices will drop. Diesel prices will drop. Fertilizer will be cheap again. Farmers can start ripping. We'll knock the legs right out from under inflation, and Putin won't be getting $100 a barrel for his oil. That'd be the way to stop the war, and stop the war on us, the little people, through inflation too. But no, they don't want to do that. No, we're going to go. It's a Green New Deal. We couldn't call it. We knew we couldn't get it through if we called it the Green New Deal, so we called it the Inflation Production Act. Yeah, that's the ticket. Nobody will ever know.
It was just like they don't want to use the term New World Order, so they call it the Great Reset.
Klaus Schwab. Oh man, I had a clip of him on there too. Damn it. We only have room for so many clips, folks, and thanks to Philo for adding them for us.
We aim to please.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we've had a 719% increase in Chi-Coms. Those would be Chinese communists. The Customs and Border have encountered 2,999. All right, so there's 3,000, okay? 3,000 Chinese nationals so far in FY 2023. FY 2023. That's what? The fiscal year starts for the government in September, right?
I know, I thought it was July, but I don't know.
Anyways, a 700% increase in Chinese communists, and that's only the ones they caught, all right? Any of the other ones they want to sneak in, they can do it, through the cartels. Oh, and Fauci came out and said that the COVID vaccines and the flu vaccines don't work well, Philo.
Gee, imagine that.
And yet, when I was, I had the TV on before I left, and I saw a PSA on Channel 5 in Plattsburgh, saying that it's safe to get the flu and the COVID shot, the boosters, both at once. So come down and get them now. And I'm all like, what are these people, crazy?
Yeah, well, isn't that funny? They said that the first shot was going to wipe it out. You won't get infected, you won't spread it, it'll stop it in its tracks. And
Yep.
now we're on our fourth vaccine, and people are getting this sickness in record numbers.
Yeah, let's see. Vaccines against both COVID and the flu have deficiencies, including that they elicit incomplete and short-lived protection against evolving variants that escape pop immunity. Fauci wrote in a recent paper, with the imperfections of these vaccines, it seems a public health imperative to aggressively pursue better vaccines and vax strategies. Oh, that's all. We just need better ones. There's a great video, if you can find it. It's by a guy or an outfit called Ultra MAGA, and it shows Biden lying about everything, and Fauci, and there's a good clip of Fauci saying, I should be prosecuted. It's great. And the mushroom cloud, the war in the Ukraine, and in the background, the music is the Rolling Stones, Gimme Shelter.
Yeah, I remember that song. That was one of the last songs they did that I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't care much for them.
War's just a shot away. It's a great video. Oh yeah, messenger RNA sequence found in blood 28 days after the vaccination. The findings mean that the mRNA, the lipid nanoparticles, linger for much longer than the U.S. and elsewhere acknowledge. Okay. What other news have we got from these guys? Anything good? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, there's a guy in Virginia. Excuse me. The family of a donor, T.C. Williams, who donated what amounts to $3.6 billion to the University of Virginia, Philo.
Yeah.
They took his name. They removed his statue from the grounds, and they removed the name of the donor from his law school because he allegedly owned slaves 175 years ago. So his descendants came forward and said, "Okay, we want our money back."
Well, they should.
Yeah. If you're taking down the names, you're taking down his statue. We want our money back.
It's just like these people that want to blame who's alive now for what happened that long ago. And I keep telling everybody, listen, my ancestors were from Italy. We didn't bring any slaves over. We didn't even get here until the early 1900s.
Yeah, well, the Romans took them 2,000 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are the Romans. They didn't even speak Italian. They spoke Latin.
Oh, good grief. Oh, and here's a good one, too.
Who brought slaves over in the biggest numbers? And I believe it was the Dutch.
I don't remember if you missed it, but after Sam Bank Fraud, whatever, from FTX, Philo.
Yeah.
After right after the election, Becca Balint and Peter Welch, Pee Wee Welch, came out and said that these are our representatives in Washington. They came out and said that they were going to give their FTX the money donated to charity. And I said, wait a minute. I wrote a letter to the editor, or what do you call it, feedback in 7 days, and Paula printed it, right?
Yeah.
I said, you shouldn't be giving it to charity. You should be giving it back to FTX because they're in bankruptcy. Well, sure enough, man, FTX lawyers have threatened to politicians to return over $70 million in donations from FTX.
But what's FTX again?
Oh, it was the cryptocurrency scam.
Okay, got it. Yep.
Yeah, Sam Bank Fraud, whatever the hell his name was.
Sam Bank Fraud.
Yeah. He had a hyphenated, last name, Bank Fraud Fried. Hey, another Irishman. Hey.
Good, they're everywhere.
And that kid, so if they don't return it, they can get sued. Yeah, it's covered by the Hatch Act or something. And they're saying, they kept coming out and saying, well, he didn't just donate to Democrats, Philo. He donated to both parties. Oh, sure he did, right? But it was 98% to Democratic candidates and 2% to Republicans. Well, he donated to both parties, though, see?
Well, he didn't lie. He just omitted half of the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
98% of it.
Yep.
Oh, sure. The timing of the charges is SEC's cooperation with the DOJ. He was hailed as a financial genius and selfless philanthropist, worth $16 billion at one point. And let's see. The bill was sponsored by the it didn't go anywhere. Let's see. The charities who received the money from politicians could be considered subsequent transferees for fraudulent transfer purposes, and thus the charities could get sued too. Okay, so Pee Wee Welch, and Pee Wee Welch and Becca Balint, they should give that money back to the investors and people who got scammed.
Back in the USSR.
Oh, here we are. Look at this. This cracks me up. It is Balloon. Remember F Troop?
Yes, I do. Oh, yeah, I remember them.
It is Balloon. U.S. military readiness under scrutiny among aerial incursions. See, we know in communist China, okay? We know, Joe, that Joe ain't gonna do diddly squat, okay? Because we have bought him. We bought and paid for Joe Biden, his whole family, his brother, his father, his mother, everybody. We paid him off. What do you think Hunter say? 10% for the big guy, or I gotta give 50% of my income to Pops. You think he was joking? No, we go on to Joe Biden. We can send over Baroon. They watch it take off. It go over Alaska, go down, linger over missile silos, and then go down again and linger over submarine pens. Oh, no problem. Joe won't do diddly squat because we know he'd bought and paid for.
Well, how do you think 9/11 happened?
Yeah.
And those were full-blown planes, and they didn't find them.
They're full-blown what?
Those were full-size planes, and they couldn't find them. And they let them hit two towers.
Well, that's why they made everybody land all at once. They turned off their transponders, and once everybody else landed, then they tracked them on radar. Anyways, what other news have we got? Oh yeah, if it's such a crime to be white, and Whitey's got such privilege, and Whitey's got this, and Whitey do that, how come everybody trying to be anything but white? Why did Elizabeth Warren, the fake Indian, why did she pretend to be a Native American to get those high-paying gigs and professorships, man?
You know who else pulled that stunt and lost a whole bunch of concerts was Ted Nugent.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, about 10 years ago. During one of his songs, he put on a headdress like yours and was telling people that he was Native American. Whole bunch of concert people pulled their shows from him.
Oh, man.
He's a wingnut.
Yeah, but he's a funny bastard. You should see his show. I was watching it a week ago. I think they pulled it. It didn't run this weekend. It's called Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire.
Mm-hmm.
He was going on, honest to God, Terry, I was sitting there, I'm laughing. I mean, really a guffaw. I was laughing so hard that my dogs were getting nervous, you know? It was just crazy. He's off the hook crazy. He's funny as hell.
We saw him in concert. He was very, very funny, too. But after a while, it wears thin.
Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire. Oh, and now, only after Trump threatens to go to, he's in there, he's in Ohio where the train derailment was. And that black guy who's running the EPA, another diversity hire, okay? This guy, he was on his way on a plane. He was on his way to a private jet to Africa for a global warming conference with a couple of his black actor friends, right? And the Biden people were getting so much heat that they said, no, you got to get back. You got to go to Ohio. This Trump's really climbing up our butt. Because the EPA blew it, man. They blew it. There's a whole chain of what's supposed to happen when there's a toxic spill like that.
Yeah.
And they tried blaming it. Last weekend, they tried blaming it on the local fire chief. You don't have diddly squat to say in any of it, man. It's the EPA. There's a protocol and there's a set of rules that say any spill, if it's out to sea or in major waterways, then it belongs to the Coast Guard, right? But if it happens on land, whether it's a pipeline or a tanker leak, that's why pipelines are so much safer. If it happens on land, then it's an EPA. That ball goes into the EPA's court. And somehow they just said, I don't know, burn it, whatever. They couldn't get a hold of the guy. And then Mayor Pete supposedly going there tomorrow. He kept hemming and hawing. Alfred E. Buttigieg. He looks like Alfred E. Newman.
Oh, Newman looks much better.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. They're giving $185 million to Turkey for the earthquake, which is good. I mean, that we help them out. We're giving almost over $200 billion to the Ukraine. We're putting wetbacks up in swanky hotels, yet not a cent for the Ohio. The people in Ohio that are surrounded by friggin' vinyl chloride. You know, when I was a kid, there were two plants, chemical plants, that we used to do work for. And I'm telling you, I knew back then that stuff was dangerous. They had these big reactor vessels, and they would stuff with the parts would wear out, and they'd try and run them as long as they could. So we'd do a lot of like spray welding and try and put new bearing surfaces in and stuff. And they had these beaters, like these big, they were coated with ceramic, like three egg beaters that went in these vessels. And the guys at the plant, there were two plants, Great American Chemical Company in Fitchburg and Borden Chemical Company in Leominster. And they both made PVC and plastic resin and stuff for all the plastic factories that used to be there.
Yep.
And when I did my tool and die apprenticeship, and I knew these guys, my buddy Donnie Proctor, his father worked at one of the places, and I'll tell you what, these guys had to climb into the reactor vessel, and some of the older guys, OSHA started mandating that they wear respirators and have airlines to go down and do the work inside the vessels, because a lot of the older guys that worked there, they'd go inside there, get overcome with the fumes, and if you didn't have a buddy system outside, they died, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you what, I knew all these guys that worked there. They were the parents of my friends I went to school with and stuff. And not a single friggin' one of them, Philo, made it long enough to collect Social Security. Not a single one.
Not surprising.
Cancers, tumors, everything.
Yeah, we had the same thing when we were spraying down machinery. We had to degrease it.
Solvents.
Degrease it, pit.
Yep.
And this one guy, he would never wear a breather or anything, and he'd sit there, and I'd be spraying away, and he wouldn't be more than 6 feet away, smoking a cigarette and getting all those fumes in his lungs. I said, John, you are absolutely crazy.
I had a foreman like that when I worked at Cubic out in San Diego. He'd use like acetone to clean off the drafting tables and stuff. He's out of his friggin' mind. Oh, here we are. Biden's going to give the WHO, what the hell is it, policy for a potential emergency allocation plan with the obligation of duty for global health certificates. And you can read about that at Gateway Pundit. He's all ready to let the WHO just take over our friggin' healthcare system. It's crazy, man. Yep. And they're saying, oh, well, there was another thing with the Ohio spill. Well, you know, we never declared a national emergency. You know, it's for like hurricanes and stuff like that. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. In 2013, there was a chemical explosion at a fertilizer plant in a little town in West Texas, ironically named West Texas, that blew up the town. I remember seeing video of it where the guy holding the camera, and you can see the blast wave comes across this field and the camera starts shaking. But anyways, back then, it was declared a national disaster area by Obama after Governor Rick Perry asked him like 2 times, nice, you know, Mother May I. And Obama declared it. So they can be done. It can be done. But what? No, we'll get billions to the Ukrainians and you put wetbacks up in hotels. But, you know, we're going to make these people, 4,000 people live in a little village surrounded by vinyl chloride. God knows what crap. It's nuts. It's nuts, man. Oh, yeah. And we're in the economy's in big trouble. You see NPR's laying off people? NPR's laying off 20% of its workforce. Even McKinsey, the weasels that Mayor Pete used to work for, their recommendations, they're a consulting company, and their recommendations to every company is, well, lay some more people off, hire overseas workers. Anyways, even McKinsey is laying off people. Everybody, Google, Amazon, Facebook, they're all, we're in for a crash, and it's all self-inflicted by this bozo who doesn't know what he's doing. None of them have ever run a friggin' lemonade stand. Oh, and we're being shoved into a war by that stupid Zelensky, that bonehead, that little wolfman in tracksuit. Yeah, my name's Zelensky. That idiot, he was, they staged that whole thing with Biden, turned on the air raid sirens, and the press is lapping it up. Never before has the president gone to a war zone and walked through air raid sirens. They notified Putin that Biden was going to be there so they wouldn't send in any missiles, and they had him turn on the air raid sirens for effect. It's crazy. So anyways, Zelensky had an interview with DeWalt. I sent you and Todd the link to that article.
Yep.
That article. Get this. This is what he said. He says, for us it's important that China does not support Russia in this war. In fact, I would like it to be on our side. At the moment, however, I don't think it's possible. He said he hopes that China will make a pragmatic assessment of what is happening to avoid additional conflict. Because if China allies with Russia, there will be a world war. And I do think China's aware of that. He warned of serious consequences in our relationship. So here this punk is, he told, when his side, when the Ukrainians sent those missiles into Poland and killed those 2 Polish farmers out in a field, remember that? A few months ago, he demanded that, he said that those were Russian missiles, well, they were sent by Russia. He demanded that the U.S. come in and do a first strike, nuclear strike on Russia. And he never retracted that, even when they found out it was a Ukrainian missile. Yep. The guy's crazy. It's crazy. And, oh man. So, where is this war? Where's the plan? How come the administration hasn't gone to the Congress and asked for use of force authorization or a declaration of war like it says in the Constitution?
Oh, we can't have that. And then Congress is liable for it.
Oh,
They
yeah,
slough
they
it
don't
off
want to
on the-
vote on that now, do they?
They slough it off on the president, just like they did in Korea, just like they did in Vietnam, just like
Yeah.
they did Gulf War I, Afghanistan, Iraq. Everything is pushed off on the president. So if it goes bad, Congress isn't involved.
See, for those of you younger viewers out there, all two of you, Philo and I, we've seen this movie before, okay?
Too many times.
Yeah, we've seen this movie over and over again, and it's just insane. We saw it with Vietnam, and we saw it with Iraq and Libya and Afghanistan, 20 years to run out of there with our tail between our legs, leaving $80 billion worth of hardware. It's crazy. Where's the plan? Where's the audits of the money? $200 billion. You know what you could buy for $200 billion, Philo?
A lot of pizza.
Yeah, a lot of pizza. You could get 60 brand new aircraft carriers. 60.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 100 brand new fully equipped hospitals. 100 of them.
The National Health Care Plan.
15 nuclear power plants. So that's another thing. Biden won't allow any nuclear power plants to be built in the U.S., right? But he's over there telling Poland they're going to give the Poles money to build nuke plants in Poland. Did they report out on the TV news? Oh, hell no. It's crazy. And where's the video? Every swinging Dick and Jane in this friggin' conflict and on the planet now has a cell phone. Where's the video of the brave Ukrainians winning this war? Where is it? They have that uplink to Musk's thing there. What does he call it? Starlink?
Yeah.
They can upload video right to YouTube, right to any platform they want. Yet we don't see a single video coming out of the Ukraine of the brave Ukrainians winning the fight over the Russians. This is insane. And last week we told you, Jens Stoltenberg, the head of NATO, excuse me, said neither NATO nor its NATO allies are party to the conflict. We put in $200 billion. I think the Germans have put in maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4. England maybe 5 or 6. You know? And yet, this is insane. It's in their backyard. Where's the goofy Germans and the dope-smoking Dutch?
They're too stoned.
They're stoned, yeah. And speaking of stoned, it's Black History Month, Philo.
Okay.
So who do you think they're profiling? Our buddy.
You know, I don't understand why this guy remains relevant. That is Sharpton, right?
Yep.
When he blew it with that Tawana Brawley case.
With damn near everything.
But, I mean, that alone should have told everybody this guy is a huckster. But he's still there.
He's a shakedown artist, a poverty pimp, and a racial arsonist. Oh, and
he isn't eloquent for crap either. You should. I remember his show on MSNBC.
Yeah.
The man has incredibly poor diction.
Oh, his grammar's horrible. His diction, he's just terrible. It's nuts. Oh, and for the younger viewers, and people who are saying, "No, Putin can't just go in and annex part of the Ukraine." Oh, never mind that. He only went in there after. Not that I'm a Putin puke. But Putin only invaded the Ukraine after Zelensky kept shelling the people in the Donbass, the Russian speakers in East Ukraine. But anyways, they saying, oh, Putin can't just annex territory. No, only Israel could do that. And here's a map of Jerusalem from an old atlas that I had. And if you divide this right down the middle, there's a big X in the middle. And up in their top, let's see, the top right-hand quarter. Maybe we do need high def, Philo.
Oh, you're seeing high def now.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about when it's rendered.
So up in the upper right-hand corner, in your corner, is what they call the Muslim quarter, or Arab East Jerusalem. That's what they called it when I was a kid. And now it's suddenly, it's just part of Israel now. They just take it. Okay, no problem. And look at this. EPA moves to restore rule on mercury from power plants. Oh, they're going to upgrade the power plants, Philo. Doesn't that sound great?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Well, the only trouble is Wait, you know how I always say read it from back to front, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the last paragraph. You're going to love this. Most all coal-fired power plants have already made the upgrades for regulation went into effect in 2012. The Edison Institute lobbying group thanked the EPA for restoring the rule. Restoring the rule, most coal-fired power plants have already made the upgrades to their facilities. So they're upgrading the upgrade. They've been in compliance since 2012. What the hell? Is that supposed to make us feel better? Is that supposed to cover up for the EPA's problem? With the problem with the problems with the Ohio chemical spill? Oh, here we are too. Oh yeah, Russia's war crimes. Oh, like we're as pure as the driven snow, Philo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, never mind Iraq and Libya and Afghanistan and, we're just Cambodia, Kosovo, Vietnam. We're as pure as the driven snow.
Except when the dog pees on it.
Oh, man. Putin is talking about unrestricted nuclear warfare now. This is crazy. Buttigieg warns railroads, support Ohio community. Oh, wait a minute. How about some government support? You can bill the railroad companies afterwards. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Our border's wide open, but we got to protect Ukraine's borders. And Mayor Pete's going to send a letter. Ooh, that'll stop him, right, Philo?
Yep.
Our U.S. border's wide open. The sirens were faked. It's crazy. All the infrastructure money is going to racist roads and bridges instead of the damn railroad tracks. U.S. rushes to avoid Mideast fight at the UN. Well, see, that's why I just showed you that thing about Jerusalem, because the UN is going to take up a vote saying, look, we can't have Israel just annexing this land. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. The secretary underscored the urgent need for Israelis and Palestinians to take steps to restore calm and our strong opposition to the unilateral measures that would further escalate tensions. Ooh, what does that mean, I wonder? Mideast, yeah, here we are. And the incentives, here's the incentives they're hanging out for to shut up what was the Palestinian leader. They want to keep him quiet, Philo, right?
I forgot who that was. I left off with Arafat.
Yeah, Abbas. His name is Abbas. What the hell? For his first name, Abu Abbas or something like that. Abu Abbas. Mahmoud Abbas. He's a figurehead, and of course his Swiss bank account is growing ever larger, right? With U.S. foreign aid. These incentives include a White House meeting for Abbas and President Sleepy Joe, and movement on opening the American consulate in Jerusalem, and a significant aid package. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Yep.
Gotta love it.
UN diplomats said the U.S. wants to replace the Palestinian resolution, which would be legally binding, with a weaker presidential statement, or at least delay a vote on the resolution until after the Ukraine war anniversary. The Palestinian push comes as Israel's new right-wing government has reaffirmed its commitment to construct new settlements. They're not settlements, they're squattlements, man. They're squattlements. They evict the Palestinians or Arabs. They evict the Arabs, move the Jews in, change the locks, and, they're called settlements. What are we going to do, Philo? It's, we're the chosen people. Yeah, sure. All right, reaffirmed its commitment to construct new settlements in the West Bank and expand its authority on land that the Palestinians seek for a future state. Israel captured the West Bank along with East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip in the 67 Mideast War. The UN and most of the international community consider Israeli squattlements illegal and an obstacle to ending the decades-old conflict. Some 700,000 Israeli settlers live in the West Bank and Israeli-annexed East Jerusalem. Yeah, see? That's the ticket. Our God's better than your God, Philo.
Absolutely.
Oh, and speaking of which, this is from today's paper. The rights groups. What's the name of this rights group? Human Rights Watch says that the Middle East is targeting queers online, Philo.
Really?
Well, of course they are. They're Muslims, man. And what did Muhammad say to do to the queers? He said, throw them out the house. So what do? They take them up to the roof and they throw them off the roof. Yeah. I mean, even our Old Testament in Leviticus, it says that you have to stone the queers, but we don't do it because, we have like civil laws that override biblical laws.
So now they take them out and make them smoke a lot of dope and they get stoned that way.
Yeah.
Right?
They get stoned, wicked stoned. It's nuts. We have civil laws. This is what happens when you have Sharia.
Or if you have what's called a theocracy.
Yeah, well, which is Sharia, exactly. Philo's right, as usual. And here it is, another one. It's from yesterday's paper. DOJ targeting attorney privilege in Trump case. They're ready. These fascists are going to take 1,000 years of Western civilization, Judeo-Christian laws, okay, and throw them out the window. You've always had attorney-client privilege, but yet they're after Trump, damn it. Yeah, they're after Trump. Yet the PRA, the Presidential Records Act, has no enforcement law provisions. If anything, it's a civil matter or a misdemeanor. And here we are. Perjury alleged in probe, another one. This is crazy. The grand jury, and the grand jury in Atlanta was compiled to go after Trump's phone call or something. This is good too. Wetbacks in hotels, but not for the people of Ohio. The grand jury, here it is, Trump allies could face criminal counts in Georgia. There he blows. It's Moby Dick, great white Trump. We'll get him this time, mister. It's like, it's 2 years out. It's crazy. Anyways, the grand jury that she impaneled is a grand jury to look into like civil matters. Say there was like a train derailment, right, Philo?
Yeah, okay.
And you want to change the laws or do something about railroad safety. Well, that's what the grand jury is empowered for. This is a civil grand jury. It's not a criminal grand jury. And they have one of the grand jurors on video saying, I wanted to get him on anything, something, anything. I want to see one of them be nailed. It's like she's impartial? What, are you kidding me? This woman's a wacko banana.
That's just what they did to Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they did. They said, there's Bill Clinton, find something on him, as opposed to there's been a criminal act, now we have to find who did it, and then we can prosecute.
Yeah, so anyways.
Same thing with Bill Clinton.
They brought in 75 witnesses, Philo, in the past 7 months, and they're talking about perjury. For what? And she released the grand jury transcripts, right? But only a few of them, only selected portions. The rest of them have been redacted. Now, if what the hell? The grand jury is supposed to be used for civil matters and public improvements, right? And there may be perjury, they're saying. Yet no release of the entire report. It's crazy, man. And Fannie, what the hell is her name? Fannie Willis. That's the district attorney. Is a black woman. Her father was a Black Panther, a radical in the 60s.
Well, that's a good qualification.
Yeah.
Just like what's his name, Biden's nuclear energy expert or whatever.
Oh yeah, Sam Britton, the luggage thief.
He calls himself gender fluid.
Oh sure.
Yeah, really, that's how he identifies himself, gender fluid.
He looks just like Matt Damon. And anyways, he just got busted. he just got busted in court. I saw him dragging his bald ass out and into the daylight, and the cameras were following him. He wouldn't answer any questions. And here we are. This is from today's paper too. Yesterday. Florida may reconsider AP courses. Well, because Florida's evil, you know, they don't want to teach queer theory and stuff like that. Well, what about the other states where the kids can't even read or write? The blue states are the ones where the kids can't even read or write. And you're worried about advanced placement courses in Florida? At least in Florida, the kids are passing. At least in Florida, the kids can read and write and do math. But they're going after DeSantis, man, because he's bad. We don't want people like that around, Philo.
Well, I'll tell you, that's because he dared to go against Biden administration and all these stupid mandates.
Oh, yeah,
everything. That's what it's all about. And unfortunately, Trump is going to throw his 2 cents in with it. He should be quiet.
Yeah, well, he does live there, so he has a say, but they're whooping up this fake news about some big beef between Trump and DeSantis, and it's baloney. It's baloney. Half of it's baloney. They just make stuff up. If we haven't learned anything from the past 10 years with these people, that they make stuff up.
You mean like what Sean Hannity did with John Kerry?
Yeah.
He swift-boated him.
The swift boat.
Sean Hannity was never in a war.
Yeah, Kerry. Well, that's the thing. What was there in the record? He
saw what happened.
Yeah, he did get a Purple Heart, but he didn't throw his Purple Heart over the fence when he got back. I mean, there's some questions there, but if you were in NAM, God bless you. At least you were there.
Yeah, like my cousin was there.
Yeah, my brother died there. Some research shows participation in AP courses correlates with better outcomes in higher ed. Oh, you think? Let's see. Woke indoctrination, such as intersectionality, Black Lives Matter, and queer theory. Now, it's very important that, you have queer theory in black studies. What has queer theory got to do with black studies?
Nothing.
It's nuts. Nationwide, more than 1 in 3 high school grads in the class took at least one AP exam, up from 30% a decade earlier. Well, wait a minute. 1 in 3 is 33%, not 35. These people can't even do their own math.
Okay, last but not least, Steve.
Oh, it's crazy. All right, last but not least. Here we are. Fetterman. Oh, when Senator John Fetterman checked himself in for treatment of depression, the first thing I thought was good for him. Then, wow, it's hard to ask for help. No, the guy was stroked out. He had a goiter on his neck the size of a football, and all of this was concealed from the public by his wife and the media and all these other people that shoved him and Joe Biden and these other incompetents into office and kept a lid on the stories that would show that he wasn't fit to be a senator. God almighty. Great. So now we got an incapacitated vegetable senator who's going to be in the hospital forever and ever, just like President Veggie. Well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show, so hopefully we did get some news. Hopefully we'll see you again next week, inshallah. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, as the Hebrews say. Until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east and worship the meteorite in Mecca and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Snakbar, Allahu Open Bar, Akbar.
And a happy Deus Magnus Est to everyone
that goes by
out there.
Quick.
No, look, I don't know about this stuff. I mean, I didn't even know I had a brother. I can't keep tracking this stuff. I mean, he's Jim Biden, I'm Joe Biden. He's younger, but I'm better looking. It's not a joke. Not a joke. And then there's Frank Biden. Nobody talks about him. I mean, he's another brother. Then there's Barack Obama, my brother from another mother. That is a joke. You know what the joke is? He never liked me.
It means a great deal to our family.
What?
Rabbi Michael Beals of the Congregation Beth Shalom in Wilmington, Delaware. That's where I received my education.
What?
I probably went to shul more than many of you did.
Really?
You all think I'm kidding. We have a very, in relative terms, large Puerto Rican population in Delaware. I was sort of raised in a Puerto Rican community at home.
What?
I got my education for real.
For real.
Church. That's not hyperbole, it's a fact.
Sir, there's been
What
criticism.
about your
There's
kid
been criticism
business
that
dealings in China?
There's been criticism that this.
Compromise.
Sir, Mr. President, there has been criticism.
Give me a break, man.
Mr. President, there has been criticism.
We're
that
bought
this
and
was an
paid for.
overreaction that was done because of political pressure.
You come my office and ask the question. We have more
Yeah, you're a friendly reporter. What?
Look, in Warsaw, or it should be Washoe County in Nevada, we're not looking for a new Cold War. But I make no apologies.
What?
I make no apologies, but also enable us to recover substantial components for further analysis, for further analytics.
What?
As it takes.
As long as it takes.
We will stand with Ukraine for as long
As long as it takes.
For as long as it takes.
TV General.
I will, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border.
I would tell them that a new day is coming.
We got plenty of room for more residents.
Why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
Right. You goat.